Are you at a time in your life where you're always saying, damn, those were the days? I do. I do it a lot. And my name is Ralph. This is 50 and Forward. I have to say, okay, let me put it like this. I have a friend, right? I've known him since sixth grade. He's the oldest friend I have on this planet. Uh, he's he's been my friend a lot longer than he hasn't. It's kind of like that. We met in like sixth grade back in 1980, and here we are in our mid 50s. And there's something that he keeps on bringing up. We're Gen Xers, obviously. I was born in 1969. My buddy was born around the same time, and he's always talking to me about, dang, Ralph, I wish we could go back to 1984. You know, back. Remember how fun it was back then? And I look back and I have to say yes, yes, it was a great time. I mean, it had its bad times as well, of course. No, I think no time period in one's life doesn't go without bad times. But looking back, we had a good. We had a good look. Nostalgia, which is the name of this video, is a thing. It's a real thing. And when people start getting nostalgic about how things were, how things are not like that anymore, it's I think, in my opinion, something that is in common with another thing called mourning. When we lose someone we love, a pet, even, uh, you go through a mourning phase. And to be honest with you, in a great sense, mourning doesn't ever end. It only transforms and changes. It changes shape over time. You never really get over the loss of someone or something. You just adapt and live with it. And nostalgia, I think, works kind of like the same way. Only that if you do not be careful, it can take away your present peace now. And that's something that I consciously try to avoid doing. My friend, however, is another story. It's like I feel like he's still stuck there, like he wants to stay in 1980. I don't think he appreciates personally where he's at now. Sometimes I don't appreciate where I am now. I kind of slap myself in the face and I kind of realize that, Ralph, you're in a good place right now. You're a few years short of retiring. You're about to embark on a new kind of life, a new kind of adventure, so to speak. And every phase in life is that adventure. You have, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, work. All of those are adventures in and of themselves, and those are different phases of one's life that one goes through. I am one who starkly believes that we can take from the past and apply it to the present so that we can build a better future. I see myself personally as someone who can get nostalgic. My girlfriend and I have been watching movies from the 80s during our summer break. We're on summer break right now at this point. We're both educators. I'm a school counselor. I'm like, oh my God, I never saw this movie. I never really saw certain movies. Like, I'm going to make a confession straight up here. Ready? Ready? Never saw Flashdance. Yeah, I never saw Flash. I saw the billboards, I saw the commercials, I saw the music videos, but I never saw the movie in and of itself until last week when my girlfriend showed it to me. She said, you got to watch Flashdance. I was like, okay, let's watch Flashdance. And I was like, wow. And watching the movie, it was a good movie. I was like, no wonder this movie was popular back in the day. Because I remember when I was watching, I was kind of like putting myself back in that place, back in the early 80s, checking, kind of getting a sense of it. Now, I used to watch a lot of movies back then, but they were mostly sci-fi, horror, stuff like that. Teen movies, comedies, love those. There's so many. Secret Admirer. You see, I'm getting nostalgic now. Great movies they used to make. They don't make movies like that anymore. And they don't. They don't. That doesn't mean the movies today are worse or better than the movies of back then. It just means they're different. And I appreciate and like the different because there are movies I watch today that come out that are amazing. So it's not about that. Some people like to stay stuck in the past because that's where they felt more free, more comfortable, more themselves. I think about it. I'm not going to lie. I do. I get nostalgic at times, but I do not allow the nostalgia to kind of overwhelm me to the point that that's all I think about or talk about. And that's okay. I suppose it's a survival method or some kind of defense mechanism against the inevitable, which is what? Aging. Okay? Aging. It's not so much the elephant in the room that aging is, but it's more of the elephant one tries to avoid in the room. Okay? And that is a lot for a person to take. If you're in my age range, I'm in my mid 50s now. You remember those times, the times of Ghostbusters and Michael Jackson and Madonna and Prince and MTV. For those of us who had MTV, I didn't have MTV until I was in the 90s. It's important to appreciate your experiences. The summer of 84 was one of the best summers I ever had. Summer of 85, not so much. There was some not good things about that summer. So every summer had a thing. But the summer of 84 was a time when I was really coming out of my shell. I was a very shy kid, picked on a lot even in school. But in middle school, in high school, that didn't happen really, actually. It didn't. And that kind of helped me bloom more into the person you're seeing now. That, I felt good about myself. And it was a great time. Again, movies, music, hanging out with friends till late night. I know there's this thing back in the day. Oh, you didn't go home until the street lights came on, and then that's when you had to be home. Not in my case. you know, we stayed out even after the street lights went on. It's just that we stayed out right in front of the building where we lived, and we hung out there, okay. And so our parents could just look out the window, okay, and see where we're at. My grandmother was famous for that. I loved my grandmother. Tell a story about her one day. But nostalgia is, in my sense, in conclusion, the sense of being appreciative of what was, because it helped develop a part of who you are now. Nostalgia shouldn't be dwelling on the past and woe is me, I wish it was like that. Some people, like my friend, I feel personally, tends to do that. Not me. I tend to look at it as a great time. I look back and I smile. I smile now. I will always smile at it. I will always smile at the summer of 84. Summer of 86 was a great summer. Summer of 87, that's when I graduated from high school and started college. Those were the days indeed. But what I did with those days and how I applied it to future days is what's important. That famous saying, stop living in the past, is a real saying. It might be even a cliche, but it's a fact. Let us not live in the past. Let us live forward to the future and to better things to come. Sure, there are going to be problems. Sure, there are going to be rough times. And that takes a different kind of voicing in my age, okay? I have to man up to that. I don't want to hide. I don't want to also obsess. I tend to overthink and obsess on certain things regarding my health, regarding my, my financial things going on. I don't want to dwell on those, but then when I look back and I dwell in the summer of 84 and the summer of 86, It puts a smile on my face and helps me look forward. Looks forward to better things. Watching 80s movies currently, it's kind of put me in that kind of mindset, which I think is a cool thing. If I can offer any tips to anyone watching this video, I can tell you this. Appreciate where you were, for good or for ill, and appreciate that, and then you'll be able to look forward to the future more, with more enthusiasm, with more hope. And I hope this was hopeful to you. Okay, until the next video, take care of yourselves. God bless.